More than a decade after Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 vanished from radar shortly after taking off from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's Transport Ministry has now announced that a private marine...
More than 12 years after Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared, the mystery continues to captivate the world. On March 8, 2014, a modern Boeing 777 carrying 239 people vanished during a routine flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. In an age when aircraft are tracked by radar, satellites, and sophisticated communication systems, the disappearance seemed almost impossible. Yet MH370 became one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in aviation history. Today, new deep-sea imagery and renewed search efforts are once again drawing global attention to the case. These underwater visuals do not provide a dramatic final answer, nor do they reveal a shocking conspiracy. Instead, they offer something perhaps even more powerful, a glimpse into the immense challenge investigators have faced for more than a decade while searching one of the most remote regions on Earth. The story of MH370 remains a story of unanswered questions, remarkable scientific efforts, and the enduring hope of families still seeking closure. The flight departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport shortly after midnight on March 8, 2014. Everything appeared normal. The aircraft was commanded by an experienced crew, weather conditions were favorable, and no immediate concerns were reported. As the plane approached the boundary between Malaysian and Vietnamese air traffic control sectors, the crew made what would become their final known radio transmission. Shortly afterward, the aircraft's transponder stopped transmitting. To air traffic controllers, MH370 effectively disappeared from civilian radar. At first, the situation did not seem extraordinary. Communication interruptions occasionally occur. However, as minutes passed without contact, concern quickly escalated. Investigators later determined that the aircraft had not simply vanished. Military radar data indicated that it continued flying after losing contact with civilian systems. Instead of proceeding toward Beijing, the aircraft appeared to turn back across the Malay Peninsula before heading into the vast Indian Ocean. This unexpected change in course transformed a missing aircraft incident into a mystery unlike anything aviation authorities had encountered before. The disappearance triggered an international search effort of unprecedented scale. Nations across Asia and beyond mobilized aircraft, ships, satellites, and specialists. Initial search operations focused on areas where authorities first believed the aircraft might have gone down. As new information emerged, the search area shifted dramatically. Satellite communication data provided one of the most important clues in the entire investigation. Although the aircraft was no longer transmitting its location, automated satellite handshakes between the plane and an Inmarsat satellite continued for several hours after contact was lost. These signals did not reveal an exact position. Instead, they allowed investigators to calculate possible arcs along which the aircraft could have traveled. Analysis eventually suggested that MH370 most likely continued flying south into the remote southern Indian Ocean. This conclusion stunned many observers. The region involved is among the most isolated stretches of ocean on the planet. Thousands of miles from major population centers, it is characterized by powerful currents, unpredictable weather, and immense depths. The challenge was extraordinary. Search crews were not looking for a building, a vehicle, or even a city block. They were attempting to locate aircraft wreckage somewhere within an enormous expanse of ocean floor that had never been thoroughly mapped. Over time, the operation became the largest and most expensive search in aviation history. Ships equipped with sophisticated sonar systems began scanning the seabed. Autonomous underwater vehicles traveled through darkness thousands of meters below the surface. Scientists created increasingly advanced models to estimate where the aircraft might have entered the ocean. The task revealed just how little humanity truly knows about certain parts of our own planet. In many ways, investigators were exploring an underwater frontier. Years passed without a confirmed discovery of the main wreckage. Then, in July 2015, a significant breakthrough occurred. On Réunion Island in the western Indian Ocean, a piece of aircraft debris washed ashore. The object was identified as a flaperon, a movable section of a Boeing 777 wing. Experts eventually confirmed that it originated from Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. For the families of passengers and crew, the discovery brought mixed emotions. It provided the first confirmed physical evidence that the aircraft had indeed ended its journey in the Indian Ocean. Yet it also underscored the painful reality that the main wreckage remained undiscovered. The flaperon was only the beginning. In subsequent years, additional debris linked to MH370 was recovered along coastlines in regions including Madagascar, Mozambique, Tanzania, Mauritius, and South Africa. Some pieces were officially confirmed, while others were considered highly likely to have originated from the missing aircraft. Each fragment added another piece to the puzzle. Scientists examined impact damage, corrosion patterns, and biological growth on the debris. Oceanographers studied currents and drift behavior. Marine biologists even analyzed barnacles attached to recovered pieces in hopes of understanding where and how long they had traveled. These investigations helped strengthen the conclusion that the aircraft entered the southern Indian Ocean. However, they could not pinpoint the exact crash location. Meanwhile, the human dimension of the tragedy remained ever present. The passengers and crew aboard MH370 came from multiple countries and backgrounds. They included business travelers, students, tourists, parents, children, and grandparents. Behind every seat number was a personal story interrupted without explanation. For families, uncertainty became one of the most painful aspects of the tragedy. Unlike many aviation accidents, there was no definitive crash site, no complete wreckage recovery, and no final sequence of recorded events. The absence of answers created a unique burden that has lasted for more than a decade. Throughout the years, numerous theories emerged. Some focused on mechanical failures. Others examined potential human factors. Investigators carefully reviewed evidence and evaluated possibilities. Yet despite extensive analysis, no theory has been conclusively proven. The official investigation released by Malaysian authorities in 2018 acknowledged that the aircraft's deviation from its planned route was likely the result of manual control. However, investigators were unable to determine with certainty why those actions occurred. That uncertainty remains one of the central mysteries of the case. In recent years, advances in technology have provided renewed hope. Modern underwater exploration capabilities are significantly more sophisticated than they were in 2014. Autonomous underwater vehicles can operate longer, travel deeper, and collect higher-resolution data than earlier systems. Artificial intelligence has also improved the ability to analyze vast amounts of sonar information. These advances have encouraged new search initiatives. Among the organizations involved, Ocean Infinity has played a prominent role. The marine robotics company conducted extensive search operations using fleets of autonomous underwater vehicles capable of mapping large sections of ocean floor with remarkable precision. The new underwater imagery released from these efforts has captured public attention. Far from revealing dramatic scenes often imagined in movies, the footage highlights the harsh reality of deep ocean exploration. The camera systems move through darkness illuminated only by artificial light. Vast plains of sediment stretch into the distance. Rocky formations rise from the seabed. Every sonar contact must be carefully examined to determine whether it represents a natural feature or something man-made. What many viewers find surprising is not a hidden secret or shocking discovery. It is the sheer scale of the environment. The ocean floor is not a flat surface. It is a complex landscape filled with ridges, trenches, cliffs, and geological formations. Searching this terrain for aircraft wreckage is comparable to searching for a small object within an enormous mountain range under conditions of complete darkness. The imagery demonstrates why locating MH370 has proven so difficult. Every promising sonar target requires investigation. Many initially appear significant before ultimately being identified as natural formations. This process demands patience, expertise, and enormous resources. Yet the footage also showcases remarkable human ingenuity. Machines operating thousands of meters below the surface can now produce detailed maps of terrain that remained unseen for most of human history. Engineers, scientists, pilots, oceanographers, and analysts from around the world continue collaborating in pursuit of answers. The search for MH370 has become more than an aviation investigation. It represents a broader effort to understand what happened and provide closure to those affected. As renewed searches continue, experts remain cautious. Despite advances in technology, locating the wreckage is not guaranteed. The ocean remains a challenging environment. Data must be interpreted carefully. Assumptions must be tested rigorously. Investigators emphasize the importance of following evidence rather than speculation. This distinction matters because MH370 has generated countless rumors over the years. Claims of secret military involvement, hidden discoveries, recovered black boxes, intact cockpit findings, and other sensational stories frequently circulate online. However, many of these claims lack credible evidence and have not been supported by official investigations. Responsible analysis requires separating verified facts from speculation. The verified facts are already extraordinary enough. A Boeing 777 disappeared during a scheduled international flight. Satellite data suggested a prolonged journey into one of Earth's most remote oceans. Debris linked to the aircraft was later recovered thousands of kilometers from where the flight originated. Extensive searches covering vast regions of seabed failed to locate the main wreckage. These facts alone make MH370 one of the most remarkable aviation mysteries ever recorded. The new underwater imagery reminds us of another important reality. Every search mission contributes valuable knowledge, even when it does not immediately solve the mystery. Mapping operations have improved understanding of previously unexplored areas of the Indian Ocean. Search technologies developed and refined during the MH370 effort are influencing future maritime investigations. International cooperation established during the operation has provided lessons that may benefit future aviation safety initiatives. In that sense, the search has already left a lasting legacy. Still, for families, the ultimate goal remains unchanged. They seek answers, not speculation, not rumors, not sensational headlines. Answers grounded in evidence. For more than a decade, relatives of passengers and crew have demonstrated extraordinary resilience. They have advocated for continued searches, greater transparency, and ongoing efforts to determine what happened on that night in March 2014. Their determination serves as a reminder that this story is not merely about an aircraft. It is about people. Every new search announcement, every recovered fragment, every underwater image carries emotional significance for those who continue living with uncertainty. As technology advances and search efforts evolve, hope remains. Hope that the wreckage may eventually be found. Hope that flight recorders, if recoverable, could provide critical information. Hope that scientific analysis might finally reveal the sequence of events that led MH370 away from its intended path. And hope that one day the world may understand what happened during the final hours of Flight 370. Until then, the mystery endures. The newly released deep-sea footage does not reveal an unexpected aftermath in the way many headlines suggest. Instead, it reveals something equally profound: the immense scale of the challenge, the persistence of those seeking answers, and the enduring impact of a tragedy that continues to resonate across the globe. More than 12 years later, MH370 remains a symbol of both the limits of our knowledge and the determination to push beyond them. Somewhere beneath the waters of the southern Indian Ocean, crucial pieces of the story may still remain hidden. Whether future searches uncover them remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the search for Flight 370 is not merely a quest to find an aircraft. It is a quest to find the truth.